What's up, guys? Welcome to the Holosseum, new custom Robo podcast that me and Nagastrike. Say something to the fans, Nagastrike. Let them
Hey,
know
what's
you're
going
here.
on, guys?
Hey,
It's your
Lamau.
boy Nagastrike. You already know. But yeah, me and Tipdik are definitely starting off this new series, and we're gonna get straight into it here with some custom robo talk.
Right. And so the main thing that we want to talk about is like the metagame and the community and just stuff that's going on to let people know that we're here and everything that we're doing. And so the first thing that we want to talk about are some like tournaments that have been going on. In case you didn't know, over in the where is that, in Florida land where they got CEO? Is that
Yeah,
right?
we
Yeah.
got CEO. This is like huge for us, guys. We got custom robo at CEO. CEO is one of the one of the great fighting game tournaments that happens annually, and it's down there in Florida. And I just can't believe it that we actually have a slot there.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. That's pretty dope. And so actually, before we talk about the actual big boy CEO, let's talk about CEO Dreamland, because this actually happened first.
Oh, that's
So
right.
yeah. So Dreamland is I think that's new. Is this the first year they've done that? I think it's the first one. It's like a platform fighter specific tournament, so like Smash and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And we got a foot in the door there. Shout outs to Zach777. He's been killing it,
Oh
hosting
yeah.
some tournaments.
Great tournament organizer there.
Yeah, so he got a tournament organized over uh, at CEO Dreamland, and it was a pretty small one, but we're kind of starting out as a competitive community.
Hey, you gotta
Which is,
start somewhere, man.
yeah, for real. It's ironic to think about just starting out for a game that's like 10 years old, or probably
Yeah.
longer than that. But it is what it is. And so that tournament had, I think, 7 entrants or 8 people at an 8-man. And I'm trying to look it up right now so I can figure out. He had a post on the, what's that called? Reddit.com. But I don't see it right off the bat. But it was like 8 people, and they had a $20 prize pool. And it was just it was a free tournament, so you got to start somewhere. I think Zach himself won, and he passed the prize on to the second place winner. So shout outs to him for winning, I guess. And then we also had a tournament over at the Big Boy CEO, and the rule set saw some revisions. That's something going on in the community right now. Is that we're definitely trying to nail down a rule set we can all agree on.
Yeah, it's tough, man, when you're just first starting out. You gotta get that solid baseline going. And you have a whole community of people that all have different opinions and inputs too.
Yeah, for real.
But
The
we're
first,
definitely working on that. Yeah, we'll get that to you guys in a later episode here. Actually, we'll tell you some more about what's going on with that.
yeah. And so that's cool. We got some tournaments. We also are working towards getting some online tournaments going on, and because you can actually play net play on through Dolphin on GameCube games, so that's pretty lit.
Yeah, for anybody that wants to check that out, we're just doing like the generic Smash build, so you can probably find all kinds of tutorials on that. Just like what people use for Anthers Ladder, we're kind of doing a very similar thing over here with Custom Robo.
Yeah, on the Discord, there's actually a write up for like their ranking system that they were wanting to use, because we're trying to get an Anthers Ladder type thing going, but that's not fully implemented just
Yeah,
yet.
definitely some great things to look forward to, though.
Uh, Nagastrike, tell me about you played some NetPlay, right?
Yeah, a few times.
Yeah, so tell me about your experiences with NetPlay, because some people are probably wondering, I'm sure, like what it's like trying to play online and on an emulator. So why don't you talk about that some?
Right. Right. Okay. So yeah, actually, me and you played just not too long ago.
Oh yeah.
So you're using the Dolphin emulator here, and obviously on an emulator, the net play is not going to be the best. But For being what it is super super solid. And you always have to think, this is what we have. So you kind of just have to roll with the punches. But as long as both players have a solid connection, you can set the buffer, and I mean, you don't really experience much hiccups there.
Yeah, I was definitely surprised at how well it actually worked. I didn't think it was going to be like great. After that night that I played against you, there was another night where I played against Kirby Knight, and I forget who the other player was who I played against a couple of nights ago, and it was definitely cool. There was one particular person who would it would be fine. The ping would be 60 or 70, and then out of nowhere it would spike up to 300 or at one point 500, and that was a little bit intrusive. But
Yeah, I've played at least I've done at least like 5 or 6 sets with people, and they've typically ran like 20 minutes at the very least, and I think so far I've only had like issues in like 2 out of those 6. So I mean, if you think about it, I mean that's not very bad at all. Not a bad percentage. Definitely very clean and smooth most of the time.
mhm, yeah, for sure. And so something else that I wanted to talk about was about like the kind of metagame that's been happening with custom Robo. And I guess since we're already talking about net play, can you talk about some of the builds that you've seen people use online that you've played against?
Yeah, okay. So, well, I feel like a lot of people actually tend to gravitate towards the dragon gun. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, think about it, dude. Like, it's called the dragon. It looks like a dragon, and when you shoot it, it's like, "Ah!"
Yeah.
It's a dragon. I mean, what's not to love about it? So I feel like a lot of newer players and just fans of the game in general are gravitating towards that gun. I think it's very solid overall for what it does, albeit not the best gun in the game. Definitely a solid option.
Uh-huh.
And people play all kinds of crazy stuff on NetPlay so far. I've seen so people like to do sniper. A lot of people in this Discord are actually fans of Oil Can. I've seen
Shout
crazy
out to Oil
stuff.
Can.
Eagle's a really interesting gun. You get Birdemic all over the field.
Yeah, I was
It's
watching
just
that
good
set.
times.
I was watching that set. Who was it? Neville was using Oil Can in his set versus
Yeah,
you. Oh my god.
Neville was also
What?
the one that used Eagle against me.
Oh, Eagle's definitely. I feel like Eagle is the kind of gun that can really shut down certain matchups, but also just gets shit on a lot of
It's just
times.
a silly gun.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But if you can get really high in the air off of like an acrobat with the feather legs, then you can start setting them up. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and actually, a lot of people incorporate the acrobat bomb into their build, which I find very refreshing.
Yeah, yeah. I think you're absolutely right about the dragon gun. I think that is it it's definitely a very cool gun, and I think that it can yield some pretty decent results. But I do think that it's mostly outclassed by sniper because of like how fast it travels. It's harder, I think, to get around
Oh yeah,
than
for
the
sure.
dragon. I know. I was playing.
Yeah, so what about you, by the way? Yeah.
Yeah, let me think. I was playing against Kirby Knight, and he was using a lot of little raiders versus me, and he tried to use Afterburner, I think, with Swift at one point. So that was pretty interesting.
Oh man,
Yeah, he
that
was
sounds
running all
cool.
the way. Yeah, you get all of the slide action with
Yeah,
that.
I can
Mhm.
definitely see that one.
And I played against somebody, I forget who was using it. I played against somebody who was using Breaker with short thrust, which I thought was an interesting concept. Um, but I kind of liked it because if he did it at a distance, it was like quite hard for me to get to him and head him off and punish him for like on his landing. So that was pretty neat. And the gun he was using was, I want to say, It may have been Ion. I don't really remember what it was.
Yo, shout out to Ion.
Yo, shout outs to Ion Gun.
Love that.
And there was also a lot of Shining Fighter. I don't remember if it was Rayo 1. I think it may have been Rayo 1, but I was playing against some of that.
You know what? Actually, yeah. I'm pretty sure EMP used Ray 1 against me.
Oh, yeah, he definitely did. He used that with Afterburner. Yeah, I remember that. And something I noticed about some of the people I played on the Discord is that you see a lot more like standard bomb than I think that I would have expected.
Oh, definitely, yeah. A lot of the part options, they've really opened my eyes to like not even thinking about, honestly, because I'm so accustomed to what our local metagame is like. I just got it in my head, like these are what I'm gonna play because we've kind of discovered them to be optimal, like in our own environment. But then you don't really pay attention to the rest of the stuff in the game, and with it being so early in the competitive scene, it's just so important to like have all those options and like being able to discover things. And so I've definitely enjoyed hearing all the creativeness, if you will.
Yeah. Speaking of creativeness, there was one build that I tried that was recommended to me by, I think, Zolosis. Somebody from the Discord, anyway, was recommending a build with Little Raiders plus wide jump.
The wide jump, yes.
Plus homing star. And I thought, like, man, when I looked at that, I thought it looked so silly. I did not think it was going to be good. It's at the very least adequate. Let's say that. At the very least, it's adequate. I liked a lot being able to move around quickly through the air. I didn't feel like I was confined to just playing on the ground with that setup. But I definitely missed not having the acceleration from stabilizer legs. But being able to move quite fast through the air was nice.
Yeah. I think that comes with wide jump and just saying in general how good of a pair of legs that is.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But you said something. Sorry to cut you off. You said something a minute ago that I just bring up, is that you said you were getting your eyes open to some of these suggestions that people had. And that's something that I think is really great about this game, is that it just seems like every time you feel like you haven't figured out, or at least every time I feel like I haven't figured out, there's always something new that just pops up that I never knew was there.
Oh, for sure. I mean, we've seen this kind of thing time and time again. People speedrunning, constantly finding new routes, and in competitive, any fighting game, any competitive game, really, the metagame's always constantly shifting, and Custom Robo, it's no different. The game's new, people are discovering things, and people have to try out and see what other people can do. With the game having like such a big variety and options for the way you can quote unquote choose your character. I mean, the options, the possibilities, they're honestly just endless here.
Right. And so were you getting ready to say something? I feel like you're getting ready to say something.
Oh, I was just saying the wide jump is so good.
Oh, yeah. So good. But yeah, something I wanted to talk about that maybe we should get into is like the sort of local metagame that we have and the like progression of things around here and what.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So why don't you go ahead and tell me like back of what we used to do back in the day when we were scrubs.
Okay, yeah. So there was like the modern era, and then there's like the super like ancient times. So I remember like way back in the day, I've been playing this game for a really long time, and I remember you used to play in like high school and stuff.
Yeah, I can barely even remember those.
And I remember we did a lot of like real bullshit that was like really awful, and I think I remember you using like Halo gun or something and just not having a good time.
Oh my god!
But
I don't even remember.
Most of that stuff that we used to think was good was bad. Like formula legs in general, no, that doesn't seem like it's very good, especially on Little Raiders. I remember I used to use that with shotgun all the time.
Oh no!
But the one thing that from those ancient days that's like really good and still is really highly viable is the strike vanisher plus needle gun that you use all the time.
God, it's so good, dude. I love it. I abide by that set. It's hands down. I don't even care what anybody says. For my personal playstyle, that has got to be the best buy in the game. No way.
Yeah, I definitely think that it's the thing about it is that it's like I feel like it would be the Mario from Smash Wii U or like the Ryu or Ken. I feel like it doesn't have anything that's completely overbearing, but I feel like if you play it well, you can really counterplay anything your opponent's doing, you know?
Yeah, that's definitely a very fair comparison.
Yeah.
But before we skip too far ahead, just quickly tell everyone what I thought was unbeatable back in the day.
So are you referring to? I think you're referring to the Breaker plus Afterburner combination.
Oh my god, that thing was like Brawl Meta Knight for me back when I didn't know how to play this game.
Yeah, and this is also like let me tell you, if you got like a little brother or something that you just want to like rub into the dirt, this is what you do. You you have to pick Breaker plus Afterburner gun plus booster legs, and you just have to fly around and shoot them with your Afterburners.
It's so true though. That is the pub stomp build.
you just fly behind, like do a drive-by shooting, make sure you land behind a wall so that they're not going to shoot you whenever you land, and then you just whoop them. You just go to town.
Yeah.
I mean, we eventually figured out that if you just don't spam like your gun or whatever, you can jump around, like run around the Afterburner shots and punish the landing still, and it's fine. But if you're trying to be too aggressive, you'll definitely get shit on really hard by the Afterburner. Oh my god.
Yeah, we definitely figured out it's not the best that we once thought it was. So
yeah, right. And then I remember a couple months back, whenever like you started getting into this game like a whole lot. I think it was about the time that I figured out that Acrobat and Hornet is like pretty ridiculous.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah, and so you made your own version of that with the metal grapplers, and that's pretty good. I've been using that lately. It's definitely pretty good.
I like it on the metal grapplers. I think it's just a playstyle thing for me because I just favor the metal grapplers more for like the trading potential, and like something that I really enjoy is like the fact that you just get more acro cancels.
Yeah, yeah, I can feel that. Something because I usually use it on Funky Big Head, and I feel like there's a trade-off to where you've got more maneuverability and it's like just kind of generally safer, I think, moving around with the Funky Big Head. But if you're able to get positioned well with the metal grappler, I think you definitely it's like a lot harder to counterplay if you can get into that position to where you can just throw out your wave and cut off their escape and start throwing down Hornets. That's so hard because you can't even just shoot him and get him out of the way because he's got so much defense. Oh, it's very overbearing.
But overbearing. Just the metal bear.
Over metal.
Yeah.
Metal
I think it's just like a playstyle type thing, really, because like you said, it's a trade-off. Metal bear or like the metal grapplers having the better trade potential, obviously being a more aggressive type of thing, and like you were kind of saying, Funky Big Head can kind of manipulate the way he moves around the map a lot better, so you can kind of pick and choose your spots a little better with that.
Yeah, but you definitely get the air dash with the what's it called, Metal Raider, or I said that wrong. Wow, that's
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yo, throwbacks to Yu-Gi-Oh, Metal Raiders with the metal grapplers. And so the air dash can definitely be useful. And having to play against that also has affected the way that I've had to use Chicken Heart, for example. I feel like the drill gun is almost completely invalidated by having metal grapplers in the metal game. Oh my god, I can't even talk. And so,
honestly, something I haven't seen you try against that is I would like to see you try Splash.
Yeah, I think that could definitely work. Maybe I'll try that out. Because it does have so much hit stun. I could probably hit a splash, and then try to reposition for a collision. I wonder if that would work. I don't know if that would work, but that sounds like a cool idea to try
To the
out.
lab we go.
Yeah, definitely for real. You were using. I remember recently when we played, you were using a whole lot of splash, like on everything. What do you think about the splash gun, just in general?
Dude, it's always a gun I've kind of liked, but I've just haven't been able to find like the correct build for it yet, or a build that I would enjoy using like over one of my other builds. Because I mean I don't know, just like Acro Hornet's way too good. I mean, because I feel like if I did play Splash, I would probably do it kind of like a similar play style as the Acro Hornets, where I just kind of like be super aggressive and pin you down. I definitely want to try that on Strike Vanisher as well.
Yeah, the nice thing about using splash is that it frees up your bomb to not have to be like feel locked into the acrobat.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So I don't know what you would want to use with that.
Definitely,
Maybe
definitely something to play around with.
yeah, for sure. And now the like one of the really recent things, probably the most recent development in our like local kind of metagame is me figuring out that the sniper rifle like low key beats Hornets.
I was actually gonna bring that up next and just ask you to talk about your aerial beauty build in general because
Yeah,
that thing is disgusting.
yeah,
It triggers me, dude. It tilts me. It puts me straight on tilt. If okay, guys, if you ever want to beat me on that play, just pick a freaking aerial beauty and play acrobat and sniper. I will straight go on tilt. It's so good. It's so good.
yeah. This is really good. I think that it really is a match of positioning because here's the thing. I think that quick jump is kind of useful in the matchup with Hornets.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess before we talk, I'll just highlight the build real quick. I guess
Yeah, go for it.
So what I like to use is Soul, the ugliest one, unfortunately, but it's got the best collision attack.
Not waifus.
I wish it was Milky Way. Milky Way is gorgeous, Robo, with the sniper rifle and acrobat bomb, and then the speed D and wide jump or quick jump, depending on the matchup. Usually wide jump is better, but quick jump also can be used. And quick jump is especially useful for fighting Hornets, and that's because, like, let's say that you're in the air and your opponent is like mid to full screen away, and you shoot your sniper rifle. If he shoots the Hornets at the same time, because quick jump increases your fall speed, then you're going to fall before the Hornets get to you and like be on a lower level to where they don't hit you. And if you had the wide jump, you're not actually able to do that. You have to get all the way like around, move side to side around the Hornets before you can shoot them. But
Yeah, and definitely I really appreciate the fact that you are playing around with different options because you actually, if I'm not mistaken, it wasn't until last night that you discovered the use of the speed pod on that set. And one of my main strategies to get around sniper is to just outmaneuver it on the ground and close the distance. But I was noticing that was like really frustrating after you chose the speed pod. It made it so difficult.
Yes. Yeah, so speed, I think, is really great. And I choose speed D over speed P for a couple of reasons. Mainly, I was worried that if I have the P, those have a really tall hitbox. And so I didn't want to put an explosion on the ground that I could accidentally run into if I was flying around in the air. But it also has a really wide lingering hitbox that, like, it makes it harder for little raiders or a robo on the ground to maneuver around with that lingering out there. And the other thing is that if I see that it's about to connect with you, I can get into position and it actually will confirm into the sniper shot.
That was what was the most frustrating about it.
Yeah. And so that's actually really good. And it's nice that I don't know. I really like that when you use it in the air, it's got a slight delay. And because if you're in the air, and if you think about it, if you just clicked the L button and it went straight towards your opponent, then it'd be really hard to like position yourself to have the opportunity to combo if it was to hit. But because it has that delay, it makes it easier to position yourself for that. And you can also like you can get two out at a time, and you can do things where you throw one left and one right around walls, and it's just really nice. It's a really nice
Yeah,
pod.
definitely. I could definitely see the setup potential for the delays. Actually, something I stumbled upon that I'm not sure if it's really been discovered or is known or not. I was noticing there was a way I could actually delay my diving pods. Sometimes they would just hover there for a second, and then other times they would just fly straight ahead. So
So
I want to lab that further.
so do you know like how to reproduce it, or did you just notice that sometimes it happens?
Um, I'm not 100% sure how to reproduce it, but I'm pretty sure it has to do with the hitbox colliding with like an object that's like not the opponent's robo.
Uh-huh.
So like a wall, for instance. But I'll definitely have to look into that and test that and see what's up because that I didn't take advantage of it or try to recreate it too many times, but I definitely noticed it here and there, and it was really interesting. And I'm sure there's ways that we can abuse that in the future.
Right. Yeah, definitely something to look forward to. Be sure to keep an eye on Nagastrike's channel because I'm sure he'll have a video about that if he figures that out. So
Yeah,
that'll
for
be cool.
sure. One last build that I kind of wanted to highlight that's kind of changed over the course of the metagame is I've always been a big fan of Breaker, and
Uh
first we had that little afterburner fiasco, and then it kind of evolved into okay, this gun is bad. We need to find Breaker's unplayable. So at that point, I took up the reins and decided that I still loved the Breaker bot because it's an OG throwback. I got pooped on it a lot, so I gotta find a
hmm
way to make it work. So we kind of adapted to it. There's different. I actually have a build guide up for Homing Star on that one that you guys should check out. Um, but some other options I've been playing around with. I really like Flame. That gun's really interesting. But most recently, I've been using Ion, and Tipdik actually borrowed my build last night to play it against me, and I
hmm
saw for the first time just how frustrating that is to play against. It's so annoying zoning.
Oh yeah, it's definitely really frustrating. Once you get hit by the first one, you have to wait for all the hits to God. I think something worth trying out too. I don't know if this is actually good or not, but something that you can try out is like if you aggro cancel an ion gun, only one little shot will come out, but it's kind of like a Falco laser, and so like if it hits them, you get so much frame advantage that you can like aggro cancel with wide jump and move forward towards them, and on hit you can like I don't know go for some combo setup. I don't really know, but it could be something to play with.
Yeah,
Uh,
we'll have to play around maybe like a support type of build oriented around a bot with some bigger damage potential in the back waiting to switch in.
uh-huh.
But it's definitely something
Yeah.
to play around with that. Um, so with that being said, we're coming up almost on half an hour here. Did you want to go ahead and wrap this up and do some shout outs?
Yeah, sure. So the the first thing I wanted to shout out is the r/custom robo. Definitely check that out if you want to become active in the community. And also we've got our own Discord server, and I'm sure you can find a link to that in the description of this video. And definitely come say hello and get involved in the community if you're interested in custom robo. Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. And guys, be sure to subscribe to myself as well as Tipdik because we pump out custom robo content. We're providing you guys build guides to help you guys kind of work around the confusion of getting started and choosing your parts. We're always posting about new techs we're finding, net play videos so you can see just how competitive really works and how we play against other people. Also showcasing some different builds there. And of course, this will be up on both of our channels, I believe.
hmm
On mine, the Discord servers and all my social media links, as well as a link to Tipdik's channel, will definitely be in the description.
Right. And yeah, I think that just about covers everything. I think that when are we going to do this again? And in probably about another month. We were talking about making this a monthly podcast.
Yeah, we can definitely make this a monthly podcast. So definitely stay tuned. We're gonna keep doing this for you guys.
Yeah. So until then, you guys, peace out.
Nope.